Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Think Global Podcast. I am your host, International Seth, and tonight we got a good friend of mine coming on the show, my man Tobyn Rucker. What's up, Tobyn?
What's up, man?
Tobyn, where you at, man?
I'm in Kuwait right now.
My man said Kuwait. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go on Google Maps and look where Kuwait is. I mean, my goodness, it doesn't get much stickier than that, man. So Tobin's originally from Keelan, Texas, right? Or did I say it right? Keelan, Texas?
Yeah, Killeen, Texas.
Killeen, Texas. Now he's living in Kuwait. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do something. I want you to go on the social media and follow the Think Global podcast. Follow Azomco Global on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, if you want to pick up one of these good Think Global shirts or one of these baller bands, go ahead and visit our shop online, azomco.com. All right, so Tobin, what's up, man? Usually when we start the show, we like to do something special, man. So we have a what we called a world call. Okay, this is when you have 10 seconds to start naming a little bit of countries that you've been to before. All right, like I said, we do this just to show a contrast because somebody like yourself who had traveled a lot might have way more, 20, 30 seconds. But then somebody who's just trying to get into international travel might not have anything to say. All right, so you get 10 seconds to name off a couple of countries that you've been to just off the top of your head, and then we'll cap it at 10. All right.
All
So
right.
we'll get Tobin in the world call. Go.
Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Cyprus, Germany, Greece, Japan, China, Thailand, Cambodia,
Three,
Laos,
two,
India,
one.
Mexico.
Go. Wow, that's a long list, and that's impressive that you could do that right off the top of the head, man. A long list. I heard India. I heard lots of Middle East, Japan. Um, what else? I didn't hear much from Europe, but I heard lots of Asia and the Middle East, and but it definitely sounds like you're well traveled, man. So you're in Kuwait right now, and exactly what are you doing in Kuwait?
Right now, I just do contracting for the U.S. government doing IT work.
Okay. So what is contracting? Because I know you're a good friend of mine, and I was in Kuwait playing ball, and you were contracting there, and I've we spent lots of time together, gone and eating, kicked in, and all that, but I never really knew what contracting is or what you do. Could you explain the concept of contracting and what is it and yeah, how would somebody go about doing it?
Well, contracting is like the same jobs that the U.S. government will have. They just contract their jobs out. And pretty much you need to meet the regulations and get a security. Having a security clearance is the most important thing, and getting the certifications. If you, it depends on what field you're going into. A lot of time, the prior military experience is a good for certain fields, but you can get in if you have supply. Um, they have people who does instruction, HR people, all your the Six Sigmas and your CISSP certifications like that. There's a whole bunch of professional education you can get that can boost your unit, but usually the security clearance is the most important thing getting in.
Okay. So I know, like somebody said one time, I heard something like on the internet said that America has over 860 U.S. military bases around the entire world. So are contracts given out like in every country around the world that would have the base, or is it some like more countries that are more um, you know more adjustable to the contracts, or like obviously in the Middle East where you're at? I know you said Qatar and in Kuwait, but can you talk about some common countries that most contractors would probably get a contract offered to?
Well, it depends what they're looking for too. If they're looking at getting some increasing their wealth fast, they're gonna usually try to go to Iraq, Afghanistan, or Syria, or come to Kuwait. But that's not saying that you can't make good money in Europe and Asia and Central and South America too. They even got contracts out. I've seen contracts before for Antarctica.
In
You work
Antarctica.
6 months,
Wow.
yeah,
I
go six
wonder,
months on, 6 months
I wonder,
off.
I wonder what that contract consists of. Like, what you gonna do to Antarctica? My goodness, I
They
never heard that before.
they got you're on the work, and like you seen the little movies when they be out there in the little prefab buildings and stuff. They still got networks, and there's people still there's still stuff out there. They're doing experiments, you know, supply, logistics, medical, sort of support the community.
That's crazy, man. I never
So
even thought of that before.
yeah, I got offered to go to the Marshall Islands.
Where is that located?
If I'm correct, it's somewhere in the middle of the Pacific.
In the
BFE,
middle of the
you ask
Pacific,
me.
huh?
It's
Wow.
somewhere.
So one big wave and it's just a wrap. I mean, you're just toast. It's gone.
Yeah. And like shit, my bad. I shouldn't be cursing, but anyway. But yeah,
So,
you fly out there on
yeah,
the airline.
okay.
If you fly onto the military base, then you get off, then you go out, go to another island. Because where the military is at, it's basically just a whole island. Because they got everything around it. Imagine you got an island, you can go scuba, you can surf, and all off the mountain where the base is.
Uh, okay, so it's
Yeah.
okay. That sounds, yeah. I mean, probably
It's
something that you.
paradise. It's like being north.
So often these contracts are how long? Like, it's a year or two, or do you sign lengthy contracts or?
It can truly depend. It can truly depend because some guys, normally ones I've signed have been for a year, but I've seen guys sign 6 months or do traveling, or just they got a contract there and they can travel around the world doing certain things. They get set up in certain regions. You can get, for example, I got offered a job to actually do like the Windows installation team through Southeast Asia.
Okay, so installing. Okay,
But
okay.
you wouldn't have no permanent base.
Mm, I
You'd
see.
be moving everywhere. You go base to base.
Okay, so you're like
Or
just
area,
okay.
you go
And,
area to area.
and just so the audience know, you're talking about Windows, the software, not actual physical Windows.
Windows to software, yeah,
Yeah.
operating system. So,
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is International Seth. This is the Think Global Podcast Show. My guest is Tobyn Rucker today, coming through us live from Kuwait. Tobyn, when I was overseas, like even now I'm in Qatar, and you can always spot my American brethren around town. I say what's up to them, and it seems like whenever they're not working, they have their days off. They're always going around town and searching, trying to find something to do. Um, or so, can you explain like living on base and living off base, and like, because I know I know all the soldiers have to stay on base; they can never go off, right? But then the contractors go work on base, and then some of you guys are living like in the community around town, and then some of the guys are actually also living on base as well. Can you explain that?
well, how we usually this company and what now they got us up in these apartments, which they call them villas, but there's nothing but apartment complexes,
Okay.
apartment room, 2 bedrooms. Each bedroom got a bathroom, shared kitchen, shared living room. This one got a pool and a gym and a sauna. Um, which, to be honest, a lot of people think that stuff's special, but it's like that's what it is. What it is,
Hmm.
you know. For America, I'm like, yeah, but that's normal out there in this
Hmm.
region. If you're renting out for a contractor stand something like that.
Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day, it's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it would beat a lot of apartment complexes back home. I could tell you that much.
Yeah,
So what about
but
living
middle
on
class
base? Yeah.
living on base. I know a couple of contractors who got jobs who have to live on base. So they live in
What is it, like barracks or
eh,
something, or like what tents, or
you
what's
know,
going on?
they have a couple places that's permanent structure, but they have some like just imagine like a big bay,
Hmm.
and you can put maybe 60 or 70 bed. You can put more beds than that. You have like 2 rows on each side of the building, straight down, It's pretty not big. It's not small, but it's not huge. And they put two bunk beds, and they go like that. Then you have some soldiers who live in smaller little communities like washrooms, wet shoes, but they got their own bathroom and stuff like that.
And
And
how long have you been contracting for, man? It's been a minute now. Like it's been over what 10, 15 years you've been contracting. And your father
I
was doing the
started,
same thing too, right?
yeah. My
Okay.
dad started in 90. My dad started in 95. I started in 2004. I started in June 2004.
So that's
I
like
remember, man.
almost yeah. So what's that? 16 years, man. That's a long time. So you made a
Okay.
career out of it. So it's been good to you, huh?
Yeah, I was it was amazing. I never been so hot. The first time I got to Kuwait, we flew in the morning. It was like 100 degrees. I was like, "What the hey, it's still 100? It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning." They're
He
like,
said
"Come
it's still
on."
100. It's still 100. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. What's it? Why it got to be 100 degrees?
The engine's still on. Shit, man, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I know about that heat, man, but thank God the summer is gone and now the weather's trying to cool down in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, but you get used to it. But about a year and a half, you get acclimated to being here.
Hmm.
Then it's no big deal. They lived out here for thousands of years anyway without AC, so it's possible.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So you've been contracted for about 16 years, and you've been fortunate to travel around the world, live in many different countries. I think you were living in India for a few months, and Thailand for a few months, and then Kuwait and Qatar for years. So you got to see a lot of the world. Um, so it seems like all in all, are you satisfied with like the career of contracting, or is it like does it stress you out a lot being away from home, or is it something that you become accustomed to now? Any regrets?
No regrets. In the beginning, it was just different. I grew up as a military kid, so I lived in different countries when I was younger. But this is really I really started traveling when I became my own contractor on my own dime because I saw how cheap it was. Uh, your boy Adam put me on to some game.
Nice one, nice one, nice one.
Yeah. So when I figured that out, like man, come on. So definitely I started going, started traveling, and I like contracting. The only time you really worry about stuff when a contract's rolling over and everything.
Uh,
And usually when a new company come in, they drop your salary. Sometimes they up your salary. So you can you can actually you can make a career of it. But it's not just in the Middle East you can work. A lot of folks don't know that there's always a contract wherever a military base is, an Air Force base, there's always contracting going on
I see, I see. Yeah,
everywhere. I mean, Greece, you can go. They got them outside in England.
in England.
You can
Yeah,
get a contract. Yeah, Germany full of them. Italy. I was gonna take a job out in Italy before I came to Kuwait this
that's
time.
that's a tough no, man. That's a tough no. I don't know how you did it. So if somebody was interested in start a contract, what advice would you give them?
Well, it depends what field they're in. You know, government always need technology. Government always need mechanics stuff. They always need vector control, which is pests and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Pretty much any type job you think about, they always need it. And it's more than just like contracting with the government. You can contracting for other industries too. You know, oil businesses or natural gas, all that stuff. That's coming up. Drones,
Hmm.
man. You know how to be certified to build your own drones and do all the other stuff, how to run the network. Private companies, countries will actually hit you up.
It
It's
sounds
just
like
like a war having no business. I'm not a businessman, but I would say you can, if you follow regulations anywhere you got, they gonna come get you anyway, as long as you're legal.
Yeah, it's true. It sounds like there's a lot of information, and if somebody would want to get started, would have to do some research about companies and then try to, like you said about the background security clearance and all that stuff. So,
Mm.
well, maybe we'll put some information in the description below. Um, my guest has been Tobyn Rucker, live from Kuwait, and the Army contractor working in IT and the Army contracts. And thank you for your insight and your experience, man. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you guys subscribe to this channel if you like what you heard. Follow us on social media at Azomco Global. And if you like what you said, keep on going to the azomco.com and maybe buy you something or two. Until then, man, Toby, take care, man. Wish you all the best of luck and stay safe, brother.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
All right.